encouraging you and doing. But see, here's the thing. If he's not sovereign, this don't work. Because if God's not sovereign, if he's not in control, that means there's something bigger than God. And if there's something bigger than God, then he can't completely save me. You get what I'm saying? So him being sovereign is the foundation. If he's not sovereign, if he's not in control, then everything is up for grabs. Now, that's a hard thing for us to get, because that means God's in control when bad things happen. Oh, well, now, I don't know about all that. If he didn't know the tornado was coming, then he's not sovereign. He's not sovereign. And you say, well, Pastor, why does bad things happen to good people? The real question is not that. That's not the question we need to be asking. The real question is, why doesn't bad things happen to all of us? Because we're all bad. And the truth is, if we got what we deserve, we would get the judgment of God, not the mercy of God. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But you got to understand, the sovereignty of God is the foundation for every doctrine within the Bible. And if he's not sovereign, then nothing works. But he is sovereign. He's sovereign over all. He's in control of all. He's told us this. This isn't something we just got to believe by blind faith. We can look in the Bible, and God tells us what's going to happen, and it happens exactly. That's what prophecy is. Prophecy is showing me the sovereignty of God. Is God telling me in the present what's going to happen in the future, and when it comes to pass, I realize that God has always been in control. When God brings me out of a terrible situation and God changes it all around, and I see that in my own life. My life is a testimony of the sovereignty of God, because I see what he has done in my life. I see how he's changed me. I see how he's redirected my life. And so here's what Paul says. Paul says this in Romans 20 and 22. He says, nay, but a man who art thou that replies against God? He said, who are you that you're talking against God? Shall the thing formed say to that which is formed it, why hast thou made me thus? Have not the potter power over the clay, and the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor? What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction? Okay? So what is he saying? Because he is sovereign, he has the right to do with his creation as he pleases. Now, it's just great for us that his pleasure is to love us and to show us grace and mercy. It's not to torment us and show us judgment or to just wipe us off the planet. He could have done either. We talk about rights all the time and what is fair, but the truth of the matter is that we live under the permission of the sovereign God. The air you breathe is because God allows you to breathe that air. When you look at creation and the delicate balance that it has, if the earth was just a little bit closer to the sun, we couldn't live on it. If it was a little further from the sun, we couldn't live on it. If it was tilted just a little bit off its axis, we'd all go flying into space. If the core was just 10 degrees hotter, the surface would have nothing on it that we could live on. It would be Mars. Everything is in perfect balance because God has allowed that to happen. And who keeps it that way? God. He balances everything because he's sovereign. And he gives us permission to live out our life because he made us for a purpose, and that purpose was to have fellowship with him, the sovereign God. And so if you are truly saved tonight, and a Christian church, I was teaching a class to a group from Kenya here this summer.